question, we are talking about Mr. Pereira shares $200 between two of his son in the ratio of 3:1. So one is for Pedro and another person is Josh. So for A part 1, so all we need to do is write down the ratio in the form of n:1. So whenever it's a ratio, it's similar to a division thing. So if I have 3:2, I can divide both the sides with 2. So when I do this, I can do it like this. So it's going to be 3/2. The ratio is just is to 2/2. So that's going to give us 3/2:1. So that means the value of n has to be 3/2, or you can also say it as 1.5. So 1.5:1. And this is the right answer for part 1. And for part 2, we are talking about Pedro receives, show that Pedro receives $120. Now, if I talk about the share for Pedro, so that's going to be S ratio. The ratio for Pedro is 3 and divided by the total ratio 5. So that means 3/5 part of the total money will be shared with Pedro. So that's how the ratios will be splitted. So it has to be 3/5 times 200. And when we simplify this, so 5 ones are 540. So this is going to be 120. And this is what we're supposed to show it. And for part 3, we are talking about Pedro invests is $120 at a rate of 4% per year. And this time we are talking about a simple interest. Calculate the total amount Pedro has after 2 years. So the formula for the simple interest has to be, it's P times T times R times R over 100, where P is the principal, T is the time, and R is the rate of interest. And principal or basically the investment, so that's 120. And the year is going to be 2. And the rate of interest here is 4%. So 4 divided by 100. And when I put this one in the calculator, so I'll be getting it something like, I will only get the interest here. So let's put it in the calculator. So it's going to be 120 times 2 times 4. And this entire thing divided by 100. So that's going to give us 9.6. So this 9.6 is the interest that he will be earning it in 2 years. So if I talk about the total amount Pedro will have after 2 years, total money that he will be having is, so that's $120. That's its investment plus this 9.6. So that gives us, he will be having after 2 years, $129.6. And this is the right answer for part 3. And next, if I talk about part 4. So in part 4, we are talking about Joe's invests is $80 at a rate of 3.95%, but this time it's a compound interest. Calculate the total amount that Josh will have it after 2 years. So the formula for compound interest is going to be, it's P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power of T, where R is the rate of interest, P is the principal. So in that case, P is nothing but, which is 80 into 1 plus R is 3.95 divided by 100 to the power of, and here we are talking about after 2 years, so it has to be 2. So this is something that we need to put it in the calculator and check what we will be getting at. So this one has to be 80. So this will give us the total money that he will be having it after 2 years. It is not just going to be the interest. So it has to be 1 plus 3.95 divided by 100 to the power of 2. And this gives us the result as 86.4448, or we can say it as 86.445, or it's completely fine to say it like 86.44. And this is the amount that he will be having it after 2 years with this interest rate. and show that over 2 years, 3.9% year compounded interest is better than 4% per year simple interest. So in order to do that, so we need to compare what is the interest that they have earned it and for how much, for how long, how much that they have earned it. To do that, let's compare the simple interest versus compound interest. So in simple interest, no matter what, no matter what is the, in simple interest, no matter what is the principal is, the percentage of the interest earned would be, it's R into T. So excluding the PTR, it's just the rate, which is 4%. For 2 years means it's going to be 4% into 2. So that's going to be 8%. 8% will be the total interest earned. So in compound interest, so in compound interest, the total interest earned would be, so that's basically, I'm going to do this 1 plus 3.95 over 100 whole square. And this entire thing, of course, subtracting it with 1 to just to calculate only the interest. Or here the final result would be, will needs to multiply it with the multiplier of 1 plus 8%. So that's going to be 1.08. And for the second part, if I put this one in the calculator, okay, I have already put it this. I'll just remove 80 from here. When I do that, I'll be getting it as 1.08056. So that's basically 8.056% increase. So no matter what is the principal is, the interest rate will increase by 8.056. Of course, the interest. And here I will get the interest of only 8% over 2 years. So that's why I can say it over 2 years, the compound interest rate would be better than the simple interest. And this is the right answer for part 5. And next, in part B, we are talking about the value of Mr. Pereira's car is $24,000. The value of car decreases by 10% each year. So for part 1, so we need to find the value of the car after 2 years. So this is also a compound interest, but instead of using plus, I have to use minus because the values will get decreased here to the power of t. And here the value, which is p, is going to be 24,000 into 1 minus r here is going to be 10 divided by 100 to the power of t here has to be 2. And now if I put this one in the calculator, whatever the value we will be getting it, so that would be the value of the car after 2 years. So it's going to be 24,000 multiplied by 1 minus 10 by 100 is same as just 0.1 to the power of 2. And this is going to give us the answer as 19,440. So 19,440 is the value of the car after 2 years. And if I talk about B part 2, find the number of complete years it will take for the car value to reduce from 24,000 to 10,000. So that means the question is asking you, what is the t value of t when the compound interest is 10,000? So all I have to do is I have to do this 10,000 is equals to 24,000 into 1 minus 10 by 100 to the power of t, and we need to get the value of t. So in order to do this, we can also use something called as equation solver on the calculator. Of course, we can use the logs and do it, but that's still a long. long things to do it. So I can also use this equation solver. So in this equation solver, I can put this given equation. So that's basically 10,000 is equals to 24,000 multiplied by 1 minus 10 over 100 is same as 0.1 to the power of, instead of t, I will just write it as x. So when I do this, I'll be getting it as 8.3092. So it will take 8.3092. So if I talk about at the end of 8 years, the values are still going to be greater than 10,000. So it will take at least 9 years. So of course we can write down t would be 8.3 something. So 8.31 years. It will take 8.31 years, but 8.31 should not be the final answer because the question talks about write down the number of complete years. It takes the value to reduce from 24,000 to 10,000. So that means it will take at least 9 years, not just the 8 years. It will take at least 9 years to reduce to this cost. And this is the right answer for this sum.